Can you add?
Hi everyone. Can anyone hear me?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hi. Good evening. Tiana, I think there's like background noise from your end. But Tiana, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, sure, if I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone. Welcome. How are you guys doing today? How is your weekend going? I think the weekend is already over, so I can't actually ask how is your weekend going. Or the right question would be how was your weekend? We are in another week already. Yes. So I think the right question is how was your weekend? Did you guys do fun stuff? Did you do great stuff? So yeah, yep. I think we should just give ourselves some time, like 5 minutes or four. So I'll give room to others. Can you guys still hear me? Like, feels like I'm talking to myself. If you can hear me, can you like drop an emoji in the chat, something?
I can hear you, Shoaib.
So oh, okay. Thank you, Tiana. Tiana, Tiana can hear me,
If
but
I can hear you, it means that
students.
everybody can hear you. Oyedoko said you are loud and clear. Okay, it's referring to me. Alajide said all good. How was yours too? Asking about your weekend. Chidebere said, Baba, we can hear
How
you.
how
Chidebere,
come I
thank
can't
you.
see?
You said you missed my voice. Uh-huh.
How come? Oh,
Welcome, everybody. Good evening. Shuaib, can you still hear me?
yes, I can hear you loud and
Okay,
clear.
they can hear
I
you
mean,
too.
looks like you are the one they want to listen to. I probably should just,
That's not true.
uh,
We want to learn from you, we want to know about operating system basics. So we want to hear from you. And everyone, please don't forget your student ID. Please get it ready for today while Shoaib takes the floor. We can all hear him now, so that's perfect. Let's go on now.
okay. So since you guys can hear me, and we are about 13 minutes in. Yeah, yeah. I think you guys can get the ball rolling. Let's officially kickstart the show. So, OS basics. How was it like? Operating systems. The topic is actually a very, very broad one. It's something that should I say it's an entire course on its own. So the intricacies of an operating system. So for the basics, we try to just cover you know the fundamentals to an extent, see how you know, and make us understand why it is important to understand the basics or the fundamentals of operating systems, especially for cybersecurity. So if you have questions, I think now is the time. If there's any part of the lesson that is a bit unclear, do you need me to share more light on? Shed more light on. You can ask away. Okay, so I think I mistakenly stopped sharing. So, I mean, I'm not seeing questions. Is it me? Or my screen is frozen or something is going on? If you don't have questions for me, I think I have questions for you. And also, if you check the lesson three part of the LMS, you see that I added a link to a resource, right? For those that want to like extend their knowledge, and, you want to um, know better, uh, go past the ones that we taught in the class. And such now apps installing again. Oh, okay. So for Windows, unfortunately, you need um, the product key, right? You need a product key. You can walk up to engineers that sell product keys, or maybe a friend that you can reach out to your friends. You might have spare product keys that they can share with you that you can use to activate your Windows. I think another option you might be given by an engineer would be to reinstall your OS. Right? If you maybe eventually you're unable to get a product key, an engineer might suggest replacing the OS for you, like installing a new OS. And depending on how the OS is being installed, they might be able to just back up your files alone and not your applications, depending on how the installation is being, being carried out. Okay, so I think I'll just go over some things that might not be clear, some things on my end that I think might not be clear. Um, so things like things like difference between a file and a folder. Right. So for a file, think of a file as a single item. So a file is a single item that holds data. So a file can be a document, you know, maybe a PDF file, no, sorry, a PDF document or a Word document. A file can be an image, right? Um, but a folder is like a container that houses files and other folders. So a folder can contain a file and can contain another folder. So a folder in a folder. You know, and with folders, we use it to organize things, organize items. So that's like major difference between a file and a folder. Um, okay. So another thing I want to touch light on is so the task manager on Windows is, if you're wondering if the task manager on Windows is the same with that of Linux, right? So they are actually similar, right? And what's the function of a task manager? Like we explained, so it's just to show running processes and the resource that computer is currently using, right? Task Manager is native to Windows. That is when you hear Task Manager, think of Windows, right? Task Manager is graphical. Remember when we talked about GUI, graphical user interface? You can see stuff. You have like find things. You can click around. So that's Task Manager on the Windows end. But for Linux, the equivalent of Task Manager is command line based. The main function is to let you see the tasks, see what resource is consuming your CPU, and you can also the task and the task a process. Mm, 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 mm. Remember we said like root is on the Linux side, administrator is on the Windows side. So why on earth do you even need a root privilege to sometimes when you want to install an application to ask you to install something, you know, run it as root, or you won't be able to set up. So think of it like if you are trying to carry out a task that's going to affect the entire system, that is the entire OS, right? The software, you're trying to change your network setting, right? Those kind of tasks have higher privilege, right? So higher privileges, and this is so protect your operating, damaging your system, or even malicious, reasons. So that means to carry out some kind of like to run and install some kind of applications privilege. So if system gets breached, for example, some your the attacker might not be able to run some applications or processes because it requires that that process is being run as a privileged um, user. Um, so are they all okay? So someone says quick one. I'm not seeing questions. Okay, okay. Graphic files. I noticed some computer plays games well than others, suggesting that the graphic files of the system is low. Can you upgrade your graphic files over there? Yeah. So yeah, for I think generally for like when you want to like play games or run some kind of applications that require you know um, you to have like a graphic um, high graphic specs, right? Like all those GPU things. You need systems that they have like high GPU. Right? That's why we have systems that are called gaming systems, right? Uh, They are typically called like gaming systems. Things that I think systems like Alienware and MSI, and they have high computing power. You have high GPU. Same with not just for games. Same with running applications like Autodesk. If you're an if you're an architect, right? If you're running those kind of applications, you need. So yes, you can always get a system with better um, GPU. Some applications won't even run if you don't have the right graphic card. They won't even like open. We'll start. Okay, so the other question is while you were showing us Linux environment, um, there was another dash after the WR, WRW. Yeah. So okay, so first of all, for Linux, Linux is when it comes to like file ownership in Linux. So you have like a file is owned by a user and a group. So now when you're setting permissions, right, you can set permission separately for the owner of the file, and you can set permission for the group that the file is. So the group members, if it is the file is in a group, right, you can set the permission for those group members. Things like you want people in this group, aside from the file owner, you want people in this group to only be able to read the file. They should not be able to write to it, or they should not be able to execute it. Only the file owner would be able to do that. So if you have like RWX, that means the owner can read, write, and execute the file. But if you have like R dash X, that's for the group, they can read and execute. Um, then for others, which is the last R dash dash, it means they can only read. Can I use Linux as my main operating system when using VMware for Windows? Yes, yes, of course. A lot of people, a lot of people even use Linux as their main OS. You know, there are a lot of people that use Linux as their, you know, main OS, and maybe Windows as the guest OS run that from a VM. And there are some people that actually dual boot. They have both Linux and Windows. So when you are like booting the system, you just decide the one you want to boot into. Yeah, so yeah. But if you want to, use Linux as your main operating system, be prepared to, should I say, do a lot of work, especially if you don't have experience with Linux. So things are different with Linux. The way you do things in Windows is different from the way you do things in Linux. So if you are more more experienced, or you've spent all your IT life in the Windows environment, you will have to learn how things are being done on the Linux side. But you would have fun. I mean, you would have fun if you're somebody that likes challenges, because if you're using it as your main OS, it will force you to learn the operating system. And in no time you'd be very good at using the operating system, because you literally have no option. You have no option than to figure things out, how to install things, how to run packages, how to configure some things, how to change settings, because it's going to be different. Yeah. For some people, that's how they got to like perfect their Linux usage or their Linux knowledge. They just install the operating system. You can start with Ubuntu. Ubuntu is more, the way they say it's more friendly, and you would learn a lot along the way. Showing us the common structures of our Linux. Is macOS structure different to no, not entirely. Not entirely. macOS is not it's not very different um from them, though the file structure in macOS is should I say very different in terms of like the way they install applications. For example, I've not spent a lot of time using macOS, but from me looking at people that use macOS, I know that for example, if you want to install an application, I mean, I stand to be corrected. You would have to move the application into an applications folder before you can like execute that application, and you know things like that. Yeah, but for the yeah, so for structure, yeah, it's a bit different. Yeah, it's a bit different for structure. It's a bit different. Well, if we say completely different, um, We can also say that too because the interface is different. Um, the way you configure things is different there. But yeah, I can only speak to Windows and Linux to an extent. So I can only speak to Windows and Linux. For Mac OS, I have like very limited knowledge. Mac OS, yeah. See some Linux fans here. See, they're picking Linux over Windows. You know, for some weird reasons, I believe that people that like Linux like as their main system, they like hard life. Not that I don't use Linux myself, but I just believe that they like hard life. There's something that is just simple to use. I mean, why go to use something that is hard? You know, I mean, some people like yes, Mac is kind of like Linux based. Is it a good practice to partition your memory, use app for Windows 10 or Windows 7? Well, practice good practice. I don't know about that, but I mean, if you need to do that to achieve some things, I mean, there's nothing bad in doing that. I mean, but if you think that, it definitely has its pros and cons. Right? Uh, for some people, they just believe that if you want to have like two operating systems, just have a VM, right? And you can always do whatever you want to do in your VM. And if push comes to shove, or if shove comes to push anyone, you can always like restart the whole thing, start from, or if you have like a snapshot, you can always. But again, preference depends on you and how you like it. Let me put it that way. Yeah, hard life. I don't like things that are just unnecessarily hard for myself. If there's like there's a simpler way to do something, right? I just go for the simple way. I mean, it's not like there's incentive for you doing it the hard way. Yes, you can argue that I'll learn more stuff. I would have additional experience and things like that. But at the end of the day, if you can, get to the same point, if you can achieve the same thing, I don't follow anybody do hard life. But there are some, things that you need to do that, Linux is the best bet for you. You know, and there are some things that you need to do, Windows would take, more preference. So I think that's the way me I do my things, right? If this thing would be better achieved using Linux, yeah, let's just go and use Linux. I might grumble, I'm like, but would use Linux. Windows is, yeah, you know what? Yes, I agree with you. Windows can be really annoying, super annoying, and everything. It can be annoying, and for some people that have experienced BSOD before, blue screen of death, you would agree that yeah, Windows can be really, really annoying. I remember one time I was trying to do a presentation many years back, and all of a sudden I experienced blue screen of death right in the middle of the presentation. Not so funny, but yeah, Windows can be annoying, very, very. Looks like Joseph has a thing with Windows, like he has something against Windows. Like it's boiling in him. He just needs somebody to bring it out. Like, he has been waiting for this moment to attack Windows. Joseph is really not a fanboy of Windows at all.
I want to ask Joseph that if for any reason he needs to use Windows, can he run a VM on Linux with Windows on it? Joseph. He's laughing.
I think you guys should just run away from Joseph. Joseph is going to make your life hard. He likes, he likes, likes hard life. Joseph is the kind of person that will be running their terminal in light mode, or they are using their text editor or ID in light mode. Joseph is that kind of person. I just know it. I just know. I don't need anyone to tell me. I just know it that that's what he'll be doing. I think this macaroni skit or something where he plays the part of a professor in university, Professor Hard Life. Yes, that's Joseph, Professor Hard Life. Joseph is Professor Hard Life. Looks like Olajide is equally not a fan. Olajide and Joseph, you guys are just bodies in eights, hitting on Windows. But don't worry, Windows has its good days. Don't worry, I'll be here. We will all be here. We will all be here. In fact, what are we even saying? I'm sure you are definitely attending this session, right, from from a Windows OS. I'm sure. I just know it. That, yeah. But I think in terms of like servers, when it comes to like servers and stuff, Linux is more, you know, efficient in that part of things. Like if you're trying to like use like, configure a server, like spin up a server, Linux is more preferable in that part. Linux is quite good there. I think a lot of servers even run on Linux. Yeah, a lot of Linux-based servers. And for Windows, Windows is just like Windows. When it comes to like desktop, is Windows um, is more, should I say, more perfect in that area. But when it comes to like servers and open source stuff, like flexibility, yeah, flexibility, Linux is Linux is that guy. Okay, that's how you guys want to play it. You and Joseph. Okay, I reserve my comments. I reserve my comments. I reserve my comments. It's not you people's fault. It is Windows. It is Microsoft's fault. I don't mean we still have like those Lumia phones. You know, but I won't talk too much. I'll keep quiet. Do people still even remember those phones, those Microsoft based phones, that Microsoft Lumia? phones were a thing back then, and all of a sudden, yeah, Windows is more. Windows is not like Windows is not really flexible. Windows is not really flexible. Oh wait, now okay, wait. We have a new joiner. Anifat has joined the Linux crew. So we have three Linux fanboys and girls. Hanifa has joined the Linux crew. So nobody here is a Windows fanboy. So it's three against one. Oh. So you guys are just going to watch those Lajide and Hanifa. Just going to watch them come at me this hard. Please,
Okay.
some
Can you hear me, Shuaib?
yes, yes, I can hear you.
So I said I think we have more people who are Linux fan here, and personally myself,
Yeah.
I also like Linux also. But
Oh, so you guys.
that does not mean you should hate on Windows, right? Because when you go to enterprise environments, you are going to see more of Windows devices and all of those, right? So if you all remember when CrowdStrike had issue then, every most of the organization were stranded because everywhere is Windows, Windows, Windows. So if you are doing your thing, you might have your Linux, but when it comes to enterprise environments, you will see more of Windows. That's just my own 2 cents. So I think our time has we've spent a lot of time on the question and answer. I think we can start the quiz
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Before we start, God will bless you. SOM, some. You use Windows, the best. God will bless you. When you are going out, nothing will do you. Nothing will do you. Nothing will do you. Some. Janet, nothing will do you to Janet. Nothing will. I'm not saying anything will do Joseph, oh, but I'm just praying for some and Janet. You can decide to take this however you like. But yeah. So yeah, let me share for assessments. Yep, joining. Halima, I can see your comment, Halima. Avoid me throughout this cohort. Yes, I'm threatening all of you. Yes, I'm threatening you guys. Ah, Chidi Ebiri, I beg, no let customer vex. Oh.
Okay, so I just sent the link to the Pombu channel now, so you can easily pick it from there, or you can also scan the barcode, or the QR code, rather. Always join with your student ID. We've said this several times. If you've joined with your name, go out and join with your student ID, please.
Please join with your student ID.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. If you've joined with your name, please go back and you can leave, then join with your student ID instead, please.
Please join with your student ID. Student ID. Unknown user that wants to win. What if we say you won't win?
I think we can start now. We have 16 participants.
Okay. any of you that didn't join with your student ID, please what we do that. So now what we need to join with student ID.
Hello, Shuaib, can you hear me? Oops. Joseph. We want to know who Joseph is passing the baton to. So I think the network just took Shuaib off. Sharing again. Joseph, oh, Shuaib, the sign is because you are using Windows. That's why you got locked out. I'm not sure I saw the student ID. I'm not sure I saw the student ID of the person that won. I was sure I has the details. It will be on Waygrass. Yes, we can always check it later. So I would have loved us to go through some of the questions, but it's like the network has taken him off, and some of us, like Chidebere, want to go and watch PSG and Chelsea. So I think we're going to call it a night, and we'll have more discussions on the Pombu channel. So this quiz is going to stand as our um, attendance for today. Lesson 4 will be released during the week, and any other information that we have, we're going to pass it across on the Bumble channel. If you didn't use your student ID to do this quiz, I'm sorry for you. Try again next time. But your attendance for today is zero. Is zero. So we're going to communicate on the group O1, and I just hope it's not Joseph again, because I don't know if he's trying to score hat trick here. You have to pass the baton to the next person. All right, so good night, everyone, and have a good evening. Good night, everybody.